Hi crafters, this is Nye with All Things Were Created. Today we are going to go through the assembly of the football goalpost table decor. I am really excited about this project. I hope you guys are too. I'm going to run through quickly what some of the supplies are that I'll be using with assembling this together. I have some jute twine here that I'll be using at the end with the banner. I have my art glitter glue that I'll also be using as well for gluing everything together. I also have my hot glue gun off camera that I'll be using as also. I have a pair of scissors. I have my bone folder and a regular ruler that I'll also be using just to help me get some of the score lines perfect as I fold them. And because I'm going to be using mine at the end for holding the silverware as part of my party decor, I have some plastic utensils that I'll be adding at the end. However, you can just leave this as is and keep it as table decor. You don't necessarily have to use it for like a utensil holder like I will be doing. You could just leave it as is and let it be regular table decor, or if you have something else on your table, you might be able to add it as well. So I think that's it. I'm going to get started gluing right away because I don't want this video to end up taking too long for us. I'm going to start first with gluing the banner, only because there's lots of pieces here and I don't want to lose anything in the shuffle. So I lined up everything so that way it would make it easy and to make sure that I have everything cut. And what I'm going to do is just kind of eyeball the centering of this there, and then add the glue at the back in just a couple of areas here. And then take it, I'm going to add it right here to the top too. And take it and again, eyeball it up. And there we go. You can shift it a little bit before the glue completely dries if it's not perfectly centered when you go to do it. And then I'm going to add it again to the back here of this white. And then add it to the back of the banner here. And again, just move it a little bit so that way you get it perfectly centered there. And that's the first one. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest now, and I'll speed up the video as I go, so that way it'll help cut down on some of the time. Okay, so that takes care of gluing those together. I'm going to put them off to the side now because I'll be needing those again at the very end when I go to put the banner on the goalpost. Oh dear, that got stuck. Okay. So my next part now is I'm going to make the box of the goalpost for it to sit in. I have my green and then my white, which will be my background. And I also am going to use my ruler here and my score line in the center. I'm just going to take it and give it a little bit of a crease right along that score line. And I'm going to do that here on the white as well. Just line it right up there and just use the edge of your hand to crease it. And then I'm going to start gluing the back here. And really, I'm going to take my time gluing this because I really want to make sure that it gets completely lined up here. I don't want any part of it to be off a little because it might show and it won't look good. So So I'm going to just use my hand here and line it up and then kind of press it down. Remember, before the glue dries, you can shift things around right before it really begins to seal there. And that worked. And now I'll just lift it up and continue. I'm actually going to flip it over. It'll be a little easier. And then just continue to add some of the glue and press it down right here. And just want to try and get as many of these little pieces of the game day. I know the lettering cuts pretty thin there, but it helps to add with that sports look. I can see it's off just a tad right there, but didn't show up. And if you see any seeping glue, you can use your fingernail just to kind of grab it, or a pin just to kind of grab it so it doesn't make a bubble there, but it's really going to dry clear, so you're not going to see it unless you're examining it really, really closely, which might happen at your party. You might have a guest that is really enamored by it and takes a much closer look than you would actually like. And then I'm just going to press it down again. And now I'm going to flip it one more time and then just start to add the glue right along some more of the green edges here. Again, just check for the seeping glue as you're going. I have a little bit right here. You can also just use your finger there to get rid of it. Or if you have a paper towel, you can wipe your pen on the edge of a paper towel. And now just the last part of this section. And there we go. I can definitely see that it got a little off here, but it doesn't show as much in the front, which is good. And it'll be at the bottom. So once you get it glued, your fold line, you're just gonna wanna take it and crease it again. Whoops. Use your hand there so you can crease both of them. And then we're going to just flip it the other way. If you need to use your hand to just bend it there to help it along, that will work too. Just make it a nice, good crease there. There we go. I'm gonna add a little bit more glue right in here to help that green seal. And it's probably going to seep out because I probably used a bit too much. Well, maybe not. Okay. And then for the edge as well, I'm going to take my ruler again and just use the edge of my finger to begin that crease and make it strong. And then just fold it the other way. There we go. Okay, so there's the one side. And now for the other one. So again, just start that crease there. You can use your ruler, or I'm using my hand for this part, but it'll work. Just start that crease. And then again, I'm gonna use it here though. And so this part will be the bottom, I'm going to let it crease all the way to the very bottom here. So there we go. And I'm also going to do it on this side here to start. And the bottom right there. Okay. I'm also going to bend it this way too, since that one gave me a little bit of difficulty. Okay. And then once more, just line it up first to make sure that you've got it in the right position. And if you want, you can start to glue it before you flip it over. I'm just going to add one quick bead right there along the edge where I know the green is going to meet. And yep, it still looks lined up. And then I'll flip it over, and I'm going to push it up just a little bit more here. Okay, I was just checking the alignment to make sure that it was good. And then just begin to start gluing. So now that I've did the one, I'm going to again speed up the video here so that way we're not making this video super long for you guys. All right. Okay, so that finishes the gluing part of the box, well, of the green to the white of the box. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to begin to fold the box shape to create that box shape. Again, I can just use my finger at this part because of the edge of this green here. And then I'm going to fold it the other way. Oh, it didn't go perfectly. And the flaps, I'm just going to crease those with my hand here. And again, along this side and this side. And then this part will be the top here. Okay, oh, I went a little too far from my glue there. There we go. Okay. And so now we begin to see the shape of our box here. Okay, so now you want to get the other piece, and what we're going to do is just to really begin to glue these pieces together. I'm going to add my glue here. You can hear that fun noise. And just press it along the inside there. And again, just fold it so that way the creases and that 90-degree angle is really sharp and pronounced. I'm going to take this part here and glue them together on this side right there at this joint. And press and hold it and give the glue a chance to dry. And so now these two edges will glue on this side. And I'll start on this way first. So I'm going to add glue again right here to the edge, these flaps. And then make sure that they're meeting and that it's just a nice, good seal. Then you can put your hand in on the inside just to really help press everything together and give that glue a chance to really adhere to the box. and form that box there. And now for this part. Before I do it though, I'm going to open it up just a little bit so I can add the glue right along here and also right along the edge of the flap. And then just press it all in and allow that joint and seal to really become solid. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Ooh, I'm just really excited about this, you guys. I hope you are too. All right. I am loving this part of it. Okay. So neat, huh? Oh, I like it. All right. So I'm going to put this off to the side now. And, well, let's see. This part, oh, I guess it's okay. I've seen a little gap, but it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna put that off to the side, and now it's time for the goalpost. So we're gonna start with the yellow. We've got the two pieces, the really big one here of the yellow, and then the smaller one. We're gonna start with the really big one here first and get that going. And again, what I'm going to do is, I'm gonna take my ruler, I'm gonna move this box away because I feel like it's creating a shadow. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm just going to, again, just begin to work with some of these score lines here. I'm just beginning to crease the paper, even though I'm going to actually be folding the opposite way. And so you just want to find all of the score lines here that we put in when we went to cut. And then you just want to get them going. It helps to bend the paper and soften the paper, so when you go to fold and glue, it's just a whole lot easier. So I'm going to go on this side now, really just get some of those creases in, make them nice and sharp and pronounced. These I'm going to do up here with my hand, only because they're really small. I'm going to take my ruler now and do this inside part. Just line it up. Sometimes it's hard to see the actual score line, but you can trust that it's there. And again, when you get it going, it kind of can be a little, it resists you a little. And then there's that one. And now I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to flip it this way so it's a little easier. And there we go. And for this last one, there we go. And again, I'm just going to glue or fold this top one here with my hand, because that one's easy. That part's easy. Okay, so even though now I've done all of my score lines, I'm actually going to now fold them the other way. Just bending the paper with my hand. It's much easier because I've already folded the paper, and so that crease is really not as difficult anymore. So just keep folding now. All of those fold lines the opposite way. And again, I think I'm going to speed up the video so that way it's not too long. Okay, so I've got all of them folded the correct way now. All of those crease lines and the paper folded the correct way. You can kind of see the shape of it already. And I'm just using my hand a little bit more just to define them out some more. Okay, And so now that I have that, I have to go and do the smaller part of the goalpost as well. And so again, I'm going to take my ruler and just go along those crease lines, or not crease lines, go along those score lines and really just begin to make them identifiable. So that one was easy. Once I've done that, now remember we have to go back and just fold them the opposite way. And so it's much easier when you've done that first crease. And again, just, you can use your hands after you've done that first crease. The paper is much more pliable and just bends a lot easier and faster. And for this part too. All right. Okay. So now we're going to take the first one that we did, flip it over, and now it's going to match up with this part here, and we're going to glue them together. So first things first, I'm actually going to start at the bottom here. And I'm just going to take some glue and really just add it generously here along the bottom to make it nice and secure. I just touched the glue with my finger. And then just line everything up. And again, just press it down gently without crushing the paper. You can get it all right there. Now for the side, we're going to take this part and glue it like that. So hopefully you saw that. Open it up, make sure that the back goes in on the inside, and then we're going to glue it to this bottom flap here. So I'm going to add glue here first. Then take this part and glue it there. Make sure that it lines up with the bottom. Give it a chance to dry and make a secure seal. And that looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the glue along this flap of the back, and then take a nice generous amount again. Oh, my glue just fell. And really just press it down right there. Do you know what I think I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use a pencil and stick it right in there to help make that, make it like my finger on the inside there to make that seal much stronger. And that did it. So I can see, yes, it did work. Fix my glue. Okay. Yep, that looks pretty good. And then for this part, I'm going to take, again, my glue and just add another generous amount right on this flap. Then press it in and under, and make that seal again. And you know what, if the glue seeps, you could really just kind of spread it along here with the edge of your finger. Again, that will also help to make that seal as well. I'm going to use my pencil again and just press it in there one more time. And there we go. This part's really coming up. So I'm going to just add a little bit of glue right in there. And then press it there. So that way that seals pretty tight. Again, I'm going to do it right here. And press it and hold it just to, once again, get that tight, that seal. Okay. And now I've got the one side done. Only the one side. I'm going to fold this and then I'm going to add glue all the way to the edge because this is going to go and fit inside here. Okay, so I just wanted to show you there before I added all the glue. And that way you would see it, all three sides, because we're going to do it all at once. And just press it in. And there. So there's no way to really kind of make sure that it gets it there. So you're just going to have to kind of use your fingers to press the edge, and it should make that nice seal. There we go. Okay. Now before we glue this bottom part, we're going to do the other side first. So again, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take this flap, and this part came up really easy, so I'm going to add some more glue right there too. And press it all down. Okay. And then, once again, add a generous amount of glue along the edge here. Then take and add it. And of course, it's not going to work as easy this time. Okay, we'll do it this way. Even though you guys can't really see, you know what's supposed to be happening. Again, I'm going to use my pencil here and just really press it down on the inside. You don't really want to do this on the outside because, one, it could leave marks on your paper, but two, you'll also crush the post here. All right. Okay, so there, that looked good and it worked. And now fold this other side, and then we're going to do the same thing again. Add another generous amount of glue. And I hope you guys are really excited about this one as we're working through it here. And then just press it so that way it all adheres together. And we're going to flip it over one more time. And then again, lift up this part here, and then just use your pencil to really make that seal inside stick. All right, that ought to have done it. It did. Good. And once again, just kind of bring those three tabs in, add another generous amount of glue right there, and right here. Then use your finger to kind of keep all three, and then just press them inside. Oh, it's getting stuck there. Okay. And then hold it there and press it again so that way it begins to make that seal. Because the paper wants to flap back out anyway, it'll touch it, but it'll touch the edges here. But with you keeping your finger there for that extra second, it'll cause the glue to stick, and so it will stay together. Okay, oh, there it is. Okay, all right, so for the last gluing part here. So we won't be able to stick our pencil in along this side, but it'll be okay. Again, we're just gonna add a generous amount of glue And then we're just going to press it in and really just kind of hold it down there for a second, just to give that glue, again, just a chance to dry. Okay. Oh, it's perfect. I'm so excited. There we go. Okay, so there's going to be a front and a back now to this part. The back is going to be where you see these parts here of the seal, okay? You're not going to see it on the front. Yes, you're going to have this part here where it came this way and folded in, but that's not going to be as noticeable as it is when you're going to have two parts here and here and here. Hopefully you saw all of that with the camera. Okay, so this is going to be our front. We're going to want to make sure that we keep that orientation. So I'm actually going to put mine right there, just like that. Okay, I keep tipping over my glue. All right, so now for the actual post part that's going to hold up the crossbar and the post. We're going to take again our ruler and really just fold again along all of these score lines, just to define the score line and to make sure that we're getting those 90-degree angles. I'm only going to do that first one there. And then I'm going to do this part here. These little tiny tabs, I'm actually going to wait until the very end. So I've got it lined up right here. And I'm going to do this little one too, but not the tiny, tiny one. And then this bottom part of the foot. And then I'm going to flip it around so I can do this part. I'm not completely folding everything over. Line up my ruler and then just begin to define those score lines now. All right. And there we go. And then for the top part as well, just push everything back down, these tabs, lay your ruler out, and then so there are two score lines along this flap. We're gonna wanna make sure that we get both of those folded and defined, and then push it out, push your ruler out there, and again, just do that top piece as well. Okay, this video, I think it's turning out to be really long. Oh dear. And so once again, we're just gonna fold the opposite way. And then we're going to define that second score line on the tab here. And there we go. And for the bottom part of the box, you can just use your hand for that one, and for this one, and again for there, and just fold it up. Okay, and so now just begin to fold the opposite way along those score lines. Okay. Alrighty, so there we go. And what we want to do now is, you can see that there, we're going to take the bottom first and just fold that part in. So this side, I'm going to add the glue completely. And then, oh, I can't see myself. If I can't see, you can't see. Okay. So add it so it makes that 90-degree angle right there. And then it came off. Or do it one more time. Okay. And we're going to add it along this part here as well. And just hold it there, press and hold again, just to make that seal. And then we're going to add it along here and here, and then fold it in. And once you have this side done, press and hold it so that way the glue goes. And then we're going to add it along this part here. And fold it in so that way it seals. And I think one more time I'm going to take my pencil and just add it right down the center and just press and make sure that everything, I can't stick my hand in. So I just have to use my pencil. Just press and hold and make sure that everything is making a seal. All right, there we go. Then you can check again at the bottom to make sure. So now for this part with the tab, what we're going to want to do is create a seal with the two side flaps and the top flap. So take some glue right there, add it to these tabs, and then you're going to want to press these in and then hold them so the glue dries and makes that seal. This part's not sticking so nicely. Okay, yep, this part's not sticking so nicely. I'm gonna flip this one over so I can stick my finger right there. And there we go. Still not working. Right? Okay, and add a little bit more glue, although it doesn't look like it really needs it, but we'll try again. Okay, did that do it? Not quite. Doesn't want to stick there. All right, I'm going to hold it for a couple seconds just to make sure that it goes. It's really not wanting to. Okay, there it goes. I think it did it now, finally. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then take that flap over, that top flap, and then press and hold it so, again, it makes that seal and it sticks. It's something with this right flap here. Doesn't want to work. All right. Oh, that's so funny. Almost like the same side. Okay. I'm just going to hold it a little bit longer and hopefully this time it'll stay. Ah, okay. Oh, that was funny. All right. So now remember, we have our goal post. We're going to make sure that it's not the side where you can see the edges here where that seal happened. We're going to make sure that it's the side where you can't see any of that, but you can still see this part of the flap there. And what we want to do is we're just going to eyeball this part. You don't want to go and put it over here because obviously that's not centered, or there. You also don't want to make sure that it's more like this. You really just want to take a couple of seconds and really just make sure that you line it up in the center there. It doesn't have to be completely precise, but you definitely do want it to be close. So I'm just eyeballing mine and it looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do now is, I think I'm actually going to use my hot glue at this part and not just the end, because I really want this to make a nice tight seal and not shift anywhere. So again, I'm just going to eyeball it there. Looks a little lopsided and you guys can't really tell, but because you've got the top view here, whereas I have the front view. So I think, yeah, I'm going to use my hot glue here just to make sure that it lines up well and it's good to go. All right. So I'll take my hot glue, which seems to have gotten all crazy here because now it's overheated and I haven't used it while I was making the video. I'm going to add a little bit to this side. Oop. And a little bit to this side. You have to move quickly with the hot glue. Hopefully I didn't go off camera, because you don't want it to dry. And again, eyeball it up pretty quickly and then just push it down right there. And you should be good. Hopefully. Yep. Okay. So there we go. Oh, so cool. I'm pretty excited, you guys. I think it turned out pretty snazzy. I probably should have done it the other way. Maybe to make sure that this seal wasn't showing. I wonder if I could change it really quick. Oh, can I? Oh, I'm gonna try. Yeah. Oh, can I get the back now too? Oh, can I do it? Oh, it's perfect. It's coming off. Ooh, before it all dries and before it ruins it. Well, the good thing is that you won't be able to see my boo-boo. But I have to make sure that I get it in exactly the same spot. All right, so I've got this part that's lined up, and okay, so we'll try it, take two. It's what you get when you make a video, when you make the project the first time. So I got my hot glue there, and I'm putting it on the other side. I'm adding a little bit more since my paper has kind of gotten a little bit, and then I'm just going to line it up and press it down. There we go. It did. Woo! It worked out still. Wonderful. And then that seal now is at the back as well, so no one can really see. You won't be able to see it so much. All right. Ooh, there we go. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's so neat. And then, so what we'll be able to do now is we'll be able to put it right here in the center of our box. I'm so excited. All right, so now we have these smaller pieces here. So if you want, you could actually really just stop right here. You have a fun box that you could use to put, I don't know, anything, maybe napkins that are holding up or standing upright. And you could just use this here and add the banner, skip to the banner part. Or if you're gonna do it like me, where I'm gonna use mine for silverware and stick mine inside here, then we're gonna continue to this next step of adding the flaps so that way it stays inside the box correctly, okay? So with these flaps, again, we have our score lines here. We're going to fold them one way this way, and then the other side we're gonna fold in the opposite way. This will help to balance it out inside of this box here. So I'm just gonna do that for all of these. So you remember, just opposite ways that you fold the flap. And for the smaller side, or the smaller size, we're gonna, again, do the same thing, opposite ways here. And so this way and this way. Okay, so these smaller ones are actually gonna go along this part here of the side, and the longer ones will go this way. All right, so what we're going to do, well, I'm gonna need my box too, is we're going to line it up so it goes inside the box like this. We're gonna place this post part kind of right in the center, and it will actually make 4 divisions, 4 sections inside the box. So again, this part doesn't have to be completely perfect. What you wanna do is take that flap here and just kind of line it up in the center. One side will glue there, and the other side was gonna glue to this side of the box. You want it to be kind of flush to the bottom, but if it's off just a little, that's fine. But because we want to be a bit consistent with all 4 sides, we want to make sure that we're kind of lined up at the bottom there. So I just took that part, and you can see it's kind of in the middle, kind of not. So that's the small side. And then I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to glue the opposite side on this part here. So that way I have this one facing this way, and this side it's going to be facing this way. Again, it's to balance it out and keep everything stationary inside. And so again, just line it up right kind of in the center, glue it there. And then we're going to do the same thing with the longer part here. Again, just add the glue to one side. And then once again, just line it up kind of in the middle. You can eyeball it. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, but you just kind of want to make sure that those quadrants are going to be somewhat even, and add a little bit more glue right in here on this side there. And make sure that it's making a really good seal. Yep, that part's okay. And so now I did that way, so I'm going to add it so it's this way. And once again, just line it up right in the center, press it, and push it in there. All right. So now just give your flaps another good fold really quick. And then what we're going to do is now take it and place it inside the box part. And I'm a little short here. Whoops, that part fell off. We're going to do it. I guess the glue hadn't completely dried. Let me check again. So this one's going to go this way. I wonder if I should have used hot glue here. Let me give this one a second to dry. It's probably because I did it too soon. Sometimes if that glue doesn't dry completely and doesn't make that nice firm seal, it can actually cause a little bit of havoc with your projects. All right, so there we go. I think it's probably good now. All right, so like I said, take it and then put it inside the box here. And so what you want it to do is just to kind of, it's going to push out a little bit along the edges. I think I need to get my stool so I can see. I'm a little short. You guys don't know that, but I'm a little short with my bench here. All right. And so hopefully you can see that there on the inside. We want to make sure that all of these quadrants are going to be almost at a 90-degree, I just hit my finger, hit the camera, are all at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so it's pretty good. And what I'm going to do before I even start gluing the sides is I'm actually going to take a little bit of hot glue and add it right here on the bottom. I'm actually going to add a lot. And my glue stick again is done. So I'm just going to add a little bit more hot glue here. If you need to go over any part because it dried a little, just add a nice, generous, healthy amount. And again, press everything down. Make sure that you kind of get it right in the center there. And give it a second to really stick. Okay. And mine might be a little off. I did mine. It's okay. And there we go. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the glue and add it along the flaps so that way it sticks to the sides here. It'll be a little awkward to kind of get your hands down in there like that, but it can be done. And now for the other side. If you work on opposite sides, that will be easy. And there we go with the glue on that flap. And then you can just press it along the edge there. And then for the side ones, the same thing. Take the flap, this one's facing this way, and add it right along the side there. And then again, just press it and give it a chance to stick to the edge of the box. And then the same thing with this side here, the last side. Grab that flap and add your glue right there. And then there we go. Alrighty, very cool. Okay, so after you have all of the sides glued, we are ready to do the banner. So we're gonna take our twine, and I think I'm actually gonna measure this part out because I don't wanna use too much here, but I also wanna make sure that I have just enough. I'm going to measure out just 12 inches and give that a cut. I'm going to tie off one end, just a little bit. You get rid of this part here. Tie off one end here. I'm going to give it a double knot too, so it's nice and thick. And there we go. And so what I want to do now is you want to kind of, can you guys see this part here? You want to kind of just eye it up so that way it kind of hangs right in the center. I'm trying to think if I want to try and get all of it on one, but I think that's going to be pretty tight. Maybe if I put it there, let's give that a go and see if I can get it all on one. So I'm going to get my letters letters of my banner that I had first done, and I'm going to get them in the right order here. All right, touch down, and I think that it's actually going to not, I think I might have to do it as a double one and just do touch and then down. So this is what I get right when I try to craft and record the video at the same time. I didn't want to have to make it twice and, you know, use up a whole lot of paper, but perhaps that's what I should have done. So will those, no, I cut it too short. So I'm actually gonna get another piece here and make it a little bit longer this time. So I'm gonna cut a little bit more than 12 inches. So let me fold it again. I'm getting twine everywhere. That's the one thing, you know, all of the, I don't know, fuzz that comes with twine gets everywhere. It bothers me. Those are little things, right? All right. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end up having to do it twice. I thought maybe I could do just one, but I think it might be more fun with 2 hooks here. So let me kind of eyeball this out, and I want it to kind of, I'm going to make my knot right about here. So I just eyeballed my measurement there. Hopefully I got it right this time. And I'm going to do my double knot again. And that looks pretty good there. And how far down is it going to hang? I think that'll work. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if this is long enough for one by just moving it right. That one's upside down. Definitely too short. All right, so I'm going to determine my spacing then for my touch, So there we go. And that looks pretty good. And so I'm going to hold this part here, use my scissors there to hold that and make it a little straight, and then just add a little bit of hot glue right along the back there. And then just press it down right onto the twine. Hopefully you guys are, whoops, able to see this part. My glue gun just fell. Oh, that part stuck to my table. Let's make it, all right. Yep. Okay. I just want to keep my spacing a little bit right here. And all right, and then this last part here for the H, and that looks pretty good. Okay, and so, yep, I'm gonna lift it up. I'm actually gonna have to glue it up a little bit higher along the top. And yeah, make that last part drop down a little bit further. And so now I'm going to cut off this end, and I'm going to cut this one down just a little bit more, both ends down just a little bit more. I'm going to add it, hopefully you guys can kind of see this. I'm going to add it right here on the inside. Yep. I'm going to take my hot glue here and just add a little bit right onto, I just hit my finger. That was mighty warm. And just add a little bit right there, and then just push it right onto the cardstock. So there we go, touch, and then add that part right on the other side. Okay, I got some hot glue right there on my finger, which landed on the letter. So there's that part, it's still stuck on my finger. All right, so you can kind of see there. And now for the second part. So this one, this next one with the down, it's gonna have to be a little bit longer because it's going to need to fall down a little bit further. So I just cut a little bit more this time. And again, I'm actually gonna cut this part off because it's a little thick. It's not the best part of the twine. And again, I'm going to make my knot at the end and then double knot it again. You guys, I'm so sorry this video turned out so long, but hopefully you're enjoying making it for yourself. And I'm going to stick that one right behind it, but I want it to drop down just a little bit more. What I might do is I might actually glue this one right on it, so that way I can see how it's going to work. So I'm going to cut this one down really far, right to the knot. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue, and this time I'm going to add it directly to the back of this knot, the first one that I did, so that they are coming from the same spot. Hopefully you can see that there. I've added it, right? Can you see it? No, now you can. Okay, there you go. So I've added it right to the back there, and I'm getting hot glue all over my fingers. All right, and so I'm just going to drop it down just a little bit more here and let it fall. And then let it go right up there to where I think I want it to be. I'm not as talkative as I'm thinking, right? All right. I think that part will do it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add my knot right about there. I'm going to go in just a little bit further. Hopefully I didn't go too far. And then line up that knot right against that second piece. And I think I'm actually going to make it a little shorter. Let me go in another inch. I think I have glue stuck on my fingernail, which is not allowing me to glue, to tie my knot as easily. All right, did that part do it? Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna go. And hopefully it'll hang down underneath. Yeah, okay. Well, here goes nothing, right? All right, guys. So I'm gonna cut it off right about there. And once again, add a little bit of my glue right to the knot. And then take my knot and add it right beside that first one. So they kind of look like they're all, it's just one big knot, even though it's not. And now I'm going to add my lettering right in the center. Okay, so drop it down and then okay, there's the D. I'm going to add these a little closer together too. I'm not going to give them as much spacing as I did with the touch. D-O, and then the W. I really have glue all over my fingers, which is getting stuck to my letters. D-O-W. And then now the last part for the N. And There it goes. All right. Oh, this is it. I think we finally finished. Yay! Super long video, right? Yeah. Okay. It looks so cool. All right. I hope that you guys are liking how yours is looking. It's very neat. Very fun football decor. All right. Okay. That's it. Happy crafting.